When did you know you want to become a journalist?
Oh my gosh.
On air personality.
I wanted to become a journalist ever since I was a little girl. My mom bought me a book that said Barbie and she was a journalist, and so I wanted to do that.
Were there any other profession you were thinking of pursuing in?
Well, in college, I was a English literature major, and I double majored in English literature and journalism. I minored in modern dance, actually. So I
Theater, definitely. Anything out in front of the camera or with people. That's why I love it.
I kind of thought for a while of like going, and getting like a master's or a PhD in English literature because I really like reading and writing.
That's great. I think it's every journalist should, because you learn a lot about improv and how to be on the fly, especially if there's breaking news.
Do you recall any funny moments during on air or in the newsroom?
Oh my gosh, so many funny moments. That's what makes this job fun.
Yeah.
Because
Well, one funny one was I was doing a live, nice to look at all day. I was out there in the live truck. The funny moment was I was doing my live shot and they had to go to a fire. So everything, I was sitting off the fire truck and just go with it because they had to go respond to it.
every single day there's a hilarious moment because we meet such interesting people. And I think that's like the beauty of the job, right? Because you get to, that's why you want to do it, because you get to meet all of these just fascinating, hilarious people. Let's see, funny moments there on the job. I guess anything involving like live television with animals or babies or anything like that, because it's so unpredictable.
Yeah, you never know if they'll cry or
Exactly.
It's different. I'm lucky because Tribune is a great company where they allow me to have artistic freedom.
Yeah.
I get to talk about hot topics that I wouldn't normally get to talk about. I like that aspect of it. Radio, I love sports radio. I didn't know anything about sports, and for 2 months I applied for that job.
Any outrageous story assignment you had to cover?
Oh my gosh. Yes, of course. Half of the stories that I do are outrageous. But I think it's kind of outrageous sometimes just the idea of what we do in terms of people are like, oh, 5 people got killed, a horrible thing happened, go, right? And that's kind of crazy, right? Like, who does that?
Yeah.
Who has...
This year, there's a lot of...
Exactly. Yeah, you're like heading into danger a lot. And I remember when I first started out in television, you start off in these small markets and it's like, I remember driving like 3 hours to cover like, 2 or 3 random people like playing a sport or something like that. And you're like, this is crazy. What am I doing? Like, it's such a silly thing. But I guess that's part of the fun.
The cool thing about this market is we all get along.
Every day it's a competition.
The Channel 13 morning crew, I know the Channel 2 morning crew, like everybody, we actually all get along. I think that competing, it's healthy to have competition. It's healthy to respect your fellow journalists.
A lot of times we kind of work together. If I'm not going to be a jerk to another person because I'm going to have to compete against them next time, and I don't want them to be a jerk to me.
Do you have any hidden talent besides journalism?
Well, definitely my acting, and then I can do kickboxing, yoga, horseback riding, and baking.
I can kind of balance things on my head. Does that count?
Yeah.
But
Advice do you give for a journalist student wanting to get into the field?
My thing is tenacity. Don't give up.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My advice would be work as hard as you can until you get there, because my first job took me 60 applications. It took me 6 months.
What do you like about broadcast?
I love that you choose to wake up to me every morning and that I have a hot topic, hopefully, that then will get you thinking. That's my main thing, is I want to not just talk at you, I want to start a conversation with you. That's my goal in my segment, so that's what I love about it. I love telling.
What are your positive or negative aspects of your job?
The positive aspects are like this, getting to meet viewers and having viewers that have followed me throughout my career as I've grown and grow as well. The negative, it's doing the hard news, especially if there's a child involved. I've had to cover a couple of horrific deaths, stuff like that, so that's really hard talking to.
That you like to share your experience from your previous or current job now?
Any experience, kind of the most fun and scariest part of my career was when I first started. Just because I think, like live television, I remember once I think literally turned green on television. Because I just felt so nervous and screwing up and I didn't know what was going on and it was just all over,
Any memorable that you'd like to share of your experience from your previous or current job?
One of the most memorable things that I have done is there's Hank's Ice Cream, and unfortunately he's passed away, but I sat down and I spent an entire afternoon with this old man that started this ice cream shop, and Beyonce went there and everything, but just the life stories that he taught me, and then after he passed.
So, how long have you wanted to be a journalist?
Probably that was still I know I want something to be on TV, but I wasn't sure it was journalism until probably when I was in high school my senior year, because I was a writer for high school journalism paper print. So I was kind of I like it.